Hello everyone, it's Laurel here from Forever Purple Creations. Keeping myself a little busy over here. Just found out I will be off for now another 30 days, so I have lots of time to keep busy. I just wanted to come on and share a few things with you today. I know there are a gazillion things out there for making the masks because they are now saying it is safer to have a mask on than not have a mask, though I have been doing this the entire time. We do have some here, not the N95s, but we do have some really good masks here, but we wanted to do a little bit more. So again, I'm going to apologize if you hear any loud vehicles going by my bedroom windows right there. So I didn't so much want to come on to do a tutorial, which I am going to sit on here and make it. You can watch that part, or you can just listen to the beginning and go ahead and follow some of the other links that I will be posting below. I did spend a couple of days researching and learning all different types of masks. I watched a few doctors who told you what they would like to have. I know a lot of places are asking for people to make masks, whether it's parts of them or the whole thing. Like I said, I will list those links below. But myself, my sister Shelly, and my mom, Jeannie Dreamer, are all trying to use our time a little better and use up some of our stuff and help out some people and help out our community and stuff wherever we can. My mom has already made, she is like, well, she's a sewer, so um, she is a whiz at this, and she's already made quite a few batches and passed them out to the people in her building that she lives in. And we are each now making some for friends and family, and then determining how fast we can get and what materials we have, because, you know, I have a lot of material, but not cotton is the main thing they want. So just cotton material is kind of hard. I mean, I would guess for friends and family, you could make them out of whatever you want because of what you're going to be putting inside. But if you're going to be donating them to like retirement communities or 55 and older communities, or even your hospital if they're looking for them, which you can call and find that stuff out, they're asking for things that are washable and cotton. You know, they want cotton, it's tight woven, so, and it's a very lightweight fabric, so that's, I know that's one of the things they're asking for. So I'm starting off with friends and family. Shell's doing part of her friends and family. Mom's doing, you know, friends and family and her people in her building. So we've all picked and chose who, you know, so we're not all making them for the same people who we're going to make them for. So I wanted to come on and, like I said, I am going to make one. We'll see how fast I can make it while I'm on here. You don't have to watch that whole part, but I wanted to just let my viewers know all the different, things you can use to make one if you don't have specific things, which a lot of videos don't do that. And I'm sure a lot of you are extremely busy and have things going on with kids at home and helping out families and stuff, that you don't want to sit and watch a bunch of different videos to find out. So I just thought and I know a lot of us are pretty smart and know this, but I just wanted to come on and share with you guys. I also am going to give the disclaimer that this is nothing compared to the N95 mask. It is just an alternative that we can do to keep ourselves safe and to keep others safe, of course, when we have to go out and about, which is, you know, we need to get this thing under control, and anything I can do to help, that's what I'm doing. Mine right now is called staying home. I think I've been out once to get some food and things, and was petrified even leaving. And then when I go out, I start a new 14-day count for myself. So Cam has been home since, let's see, Cam's been home since the 18th. I have not seen her. We have not spent any time together. She is quarantined in the basement. It's a full finished basement, so she's got like her own apartment, and she's loving it. So me and Shell kind of bug her on FaceTime and stuff, or Messenger, where we can sit and chat. But so uh, I'm being super careful. I need to keep her protected with, you know, she has very bad asthma, as I know a lot of my friends on here and stuff do, and have compromised immune systems, and there's always a way we can help them, like even people in your community around you that you know, the healthier people can go out and help the people that can't. And I was watching the news yesterday, and there was this um, student that's home from college from Alabama, and he created a website, and I believe you can go on and find it to see if you can help in your area anywhere. It is called covidseniorshoppers.com, and now they're doing it all over all different states. So if you go to it, you can find out about it, but they actually have it where these seniors can put in what they need, and um, they go out and they go do the shopping for them. So I thought that was really wonderful. I do like seeing all the ways that people are going out and helping others. I saw a whole community where they're doing like a scavenger hunt for the kids through the neighborhood when they go out, so they can get outside and get some fresh air and walk with their parents. And they're putting bears all in different places around their homes, and these kids are going through and counting the bears, and now they've actually started adding like elephants and giraffes and stuff. So the kids are really enjoying it. So it's just nice to see that um, people are trying to find a way to stay positive and help out, and help us get through this, because this is, as they're saying, it's we have about 2 weeks yet. They're estimating before our peak hits. I keep getting major alerts, like when you get an Amber Alert on your phone for healthcare workers, because I live by Chicago. I'm in Illinois, and our surge is coming in, and we don't have enough physicians and stuff, so they're calling out for healthcare workers and things like that, and other things that you can possibly do to help. So we know it's coming, and I just want to be prepared, and I'm hoping that everybody is following the guidelines and keeping safe and keeping others safe. So I just wanted to do something um, that I knew I could do to help, because I do have fabric and glue and all the things you need for this. So this is just, I'm trying to give back a little bit, and my way of helping out where I can help out. So if you're like one of my close friends, like I can't go send these to everybody. I wish I could, but if you get one of these in the mail, you know why. So this is the first one I made. Of course, this one's mine, because I do have to travel out from time to time, and I wanted to have an example to show you guys. And this is one of them that you can find on the internet. There's so many, and I think that's what gets a little overwhelming for people. So that's why I wanted to come on and talk to you guys about. Excuse me, I just swallowed wrong. I wanted to talk to you guys about different ways that you can make it. So this one is made out of 3 pieces of material. This is the 4th piece, which is the tie. And again, we'll go over the different ways that you can do it. I chose to do mine with a tie that you can do one this way that goes around your ears, or you can run elastic or anything through this way that goes over the back of your head. I have a problem with the ear things. I have super sensitive ears, and the mask I wore out the other day when I went shopping, my ears were hurting so bad that I decided I would do this one instead. So it's just 3 pieces of material, and this one actually has, when you go in here, there is a pocket buried in here like this, and you can actually take a HEPA filter, from our vacuum bags, are those HEPA filters, and we happen to have some of the big giant Y bags from our old Kirby that we no longer have, but we still have the vacuum bags. Those, they say, are equivalent to the amount of dust and particles that they keep out, like as in the N95 masks. Again, this is not an N95 mask. This is just something we can do to better protect ourselves and others. You can use an old dryer sheet. You can, anything non-woven, like I have, they say non-woven like this. So I have a non-woven interfacing. I have a whole bunch of it. So I'm going to be using that to put inside these for the extra layer of protection. So this is just a piece of it. And what's nice about this is not that you want to reuse this. I suppose you could, because interfacing is washable. So if you wanted to just make one and attach yours in there, you could. I made the ones with the pocket where you could take this out and then wash your mask. So these are washable, and it's really nice. So this just gets tucked in here like this, and it fits the inside of the fabric. And just make sure it goes all the way up to the top and then down to the bottom. And I would show this to you guys on, but unfortunately, I'm in my pajamas. I just woke up a little while ago because I have been staying up very, very late, working on things and watching videos and catching up on the news and stuff. I'm trying not to watch too much of it, but because I work outside the home, I have to follow up on what's changing and, how long I'm going to be out of work and what's going on with that kind of stuff. So, like I said, I just found out yesterday that I will now be home for another 30 days. And my estimation is this is probably going to go through June. Some schools in certain states have already canceled school the rest of the year. We've canceled prom and graduation, all that. So I think it's just they're trying to follow it as best as they can, but I think to keep everybody safe, I don't think we'll be going back to school the way I see where our peak's supposed to hit. It's not just going to peak and then go away. So we don't want to have a resurgence of it. So there, and then it's just inside. And there is a little piece in here. I'm going to talk to you about that and all the materials. That's very bendable, and it actually goes right over your nose. And then you can shape it to your nose, and it keeps the mask very tight to your face. And once you pull all of these, they start to gather, and then this curves all the way around your bottom chin. So it kind of gets this cone a shape, this shape like this when it's on your face. So it's a really good mask. Whoever, the girl that I watched, that I followed this one, she did an amazing job. Like I said, there's a ton of them out there, and I will post links if you would like to follow one of those. But I just wanted to come on and show you how I did mine. So this is mine, and I did mine as the tie. So I'm going to show you the materials, the sizes, and the different things that you can use if you don't sew and things like that. So let's get to that. So you need your one main piece, which is your front piece, and that's this. And yes, of course I have purple and blue fabric, and this is purple and blue. I have tons of purple, giant pieces of purple. They're not all cotton, but so there will be quite a few made out of this. I had a very hard time finding just cotton material. Shell did a whole sheet. She cut up all the inside pieces of a king size sheet. So she did a lot of that yesterday. So she's actually in her room working on hers as well. And I know my mom's at home working on hers. So you need one main piece, and this piece, there's various sizes. You can, depending on your face and what's comfortable for you to make. 6 by 9, 10 by 8. This is 10 by 8, but mine is actually 10 by 7.5. So it's 10 this way and 7.5 this way. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to work out in the end. Mine is a little off, but that's okay. My original one was as well. Because what I did is, the one thing about cotton that we all know is you just rip. Instead of laying this all out and using a rotary cutter and everything, I marked all mine down and then just ripped. Because all of these edges are going to be sewn and folded over at some time, so you don't have to worry about that. And Shell's like, wow, I sat and did all these with the rotary cutter. And I'm like, sorry, I should have came in here and told you, it's pretty accurate. When you rip something, it pretty much stays in a straight line. So that's how I did mine. So your first piece, I'm getting off track, is, like I said, you can do 6 by 9, 10 by 8. It just depends on how big or how small you want it. Now I'm going to be making one for Kalia too, so it's got to be smaller. So I'll just adjust for that. So that's your main piece. Then you need your two pieces that are going to form, that help you make your pocket inside, that you can tuck your HEPA filter in, or your non-woven material in, or your old dryer sheet in. That's what these two pieces are for. And these are 7.5 by 5.5, and you need 2. So that's your 2 pieces. And then these get folded up a 1/4 inch. Again, I'm going to give you a little tip for those that don't may not have an iron around or don't want to pull out their big iron, I have my handy dandy little straightener. So I just fold mine over, pinch it, and run it along, and I have a little iron. So that's my way of doing that. So you need 2 of those. I have some clips. You can use pins, you can use clips. I'm going to use clips, and when I get going, you'll see where that goes. That's when you're doing your pinch and pleat. It's just a lot easier to just clip it on and pull it off while you're sewing. So you can use pins, you can use clips, you can not use anything if you don't want to. A lot of this people that really sew out there are really good at not having to do anything if you just iron a little bit. If you don't sew, you can, if you don't have a sewing machine, you can hand stitch this if you'd like. You can use, I know it's not the regular bottle, but you can use your 3-in-1. You can use your Fabri-Tac. You can use a fabric glue. Another thing you can use is this stuff. I've had this for so many years, and I absolutely love this stuff because, like, if I needed to hem something really quick, it's like a seam tape almost. You put it on, and then you iron it. You put the 2 pieces together, you take the backing off, and you iron it, and this stuff does not, let me tell you, this stuff does not come apart. So I have quite a few different sizes of rolls of this. I don't know what it's called. I've had it for, oh my God, I can't even tell you, 30 years or so, because I used to use it a lot back in the day when I was crafting and I didn't have a sewing machine. And I used to use it to hem my pants. So this works really well too. So that's another option. I mean, you could just put a strip across here. Like I said, they're smaller ones, or you can cut it and fold it over and iron, and you're good to go. So, and then we'll talk about the different, you can also put felt. If you have felt, you can put felt in between your mask. I'm sure we all have a ton. You don't even want to know how much. When I first started crafting, I was buying all this felt. Guess what? I can't even remember what I was buying the felt for. I think it was for inside the fabric books. I must have thought I was going to make like a gazillion fabric books. So I do own a lot of felt. And then this is an old dryer sheet because, as you know, I keep all mine. I usually use them to wipe up my distress ink and stuff. So that's why I have a bunch of dryer sheets. And for your for this part, like I said, you can use material. I used a piece that was 45 inches long and 2 inches wide, and then I just folded it backwards. I sewed it all the way down. I turned it inside out. I used a very long tooth paintbrush. You can use like a dowel rod, and then I just cut off the excess and then went around the corner, and then that's how I made my ties. So this is 45 inches by 2 inches. You can use jute, you can use yarn, you can use whatever you want. I don't know if I'd use yarn. I mean, I guess yarn's washable, right? Because you remember these are going to be washable. You can use elastic. I have a bunch of elastic, depending on how thick you want it. I have a thick one, and I do have a thin one as well. What I will tell you is on one of the videos, they show you that you can, this one might be able to. This one's a little bit different than the other one I had, but I would cut it and try it to find out. When you cut this to make it thinner and then you stretch it, it starts all just coming apart. It's not woven the way some things are. So I would do a little bitty piece, cut it off, and then test it like I did, or I would not cut it. I would just use it like this because it will just start breaking apart. And then I mean, you can literally break it apart till you just have a bunch of strings in your hand. So you can use elastic. This is a good one, this thin one. Like I said, please don't go out and buy anything if you want to make these. I don't want anybody leaving their house that shouldn't be leaving their house. But all of us that craft, I'm sure most of us have a lot of these supplies, you know, in our craft rooms or wherever we keep all of our craft stuff. Okay, so you can, elastic. You can use elastic. They make long pieces of it, or you can even use these. You would pull it apart and sew it on each side, and then this one would be the one that wraps around your ear. This is the one I don't prefer. It's like I said, it bothers my ears, but you can, like you can even clip this and just sew an end and sew an end, and then it's going to be even longer, and it will reach and fit right around your ear. Or you can use the long elastic pieces. So you can use elastic as well for the nose piece. Now you don't have to make this part. To me, it just makes it fit on your face better and stay better. I have asthma. My daughter has asthma. I have people in my house that, you know, have things, and one works and comes and goes. I don't want to get it, and I don't want to give it to anybody either. So once I go out and come back, I kind of stay in my room. I go downstairs to cook and stuff when, you know, nobody's usually down there. We pretty much keep our distance from each other when we're around. So I like the nose piece just because it helps sit on your face better. So I'm going to show you the different things you can use for that. And as I make it, you'll see what I'm talking about. So you can use this craft wire like this. I want to guess this is maybe an 18 gauge. As far as, you know, the gauge usually determines how heavy it is and how easily it bends and how well it stays. So this is a craft wire. It bends really easy to form around your face. This piece that I'm using in here is 4 inches, and it makes the perfect nose piece. So you can use this. You can use this kind of wire. If you use this, just make sure you bend your corners in. You can encase it in a little piece of material, or you can just zigzag over it. I encased mine in a little bitty tube because I'm just weird. And then that tube went inside the little pocket, which you'll see when I make this. Although I didn't make the little tube for this, so I might not be able to put the whole thing together today, but I will show you the basics of how it goes together. Or I can make a different one. So you can use this. You can use floral wire. This one I would double up a few times. This is a pretty thin one right here. And I know, isn't it funny that all my stuff is purple? I have purple floral wire. Really? So I would double this one up and then maybe twist it and then bend it in half and use that. You can use pipe cleaners like this. Take a long piece, fold it in half, make it 4 inches, twist your ends a little bit, and this will work the same way. Because you're not folding it all the way in half and back, this will stay for quite a while, especially if you fold it over and double it up. You can also use this kind of craft wire, which this one, I was obviously making something at one time, I don't know what. You can see how bendable it is. So this is another good one. And I might double this one up as well because it's pretty soft. But once you encase it in there, it's really not going to go. It's really not going to go anywhere. So I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to tell you. So yeah, there's many options to making it a bunch of different ways. So like I said, the main things you need to get started is your piece of material, which is here, and your 2 insides, which when you start, it goes like, let's see, now I got to remember which way it goes when you're making it. I think it goes like this. This is actually the top, and then it goes like this. And then that's where it all starts. So you're going to sew this first, and this one first, and then you're going to go ahead and make the rest, and then it's pretty simple from there on out. Mine gets a little complicated because of this nose piece, so I'm going to actually see if I have a small enough piece to make that right now, and then we'll do that. So I'm going to take, I don't want to use any of my long pieces here. I think I may have one. Here's one. So this gets a little bit tough when you're folding this over and sewing it. So I'm gonna try and do this real quick and see how fast I can do it. Like I said, you can fast forward through these parts. I am gonna have the video up while I'm doing this too, because I kind of need to see specific parts that she did, because, you know, after you've watched so many videos, it gets it gets hard to remember exactly what they did. And I will post a link to her video as well, so you guys can watch that one. Like I said, you can pick and choose. I know a lot of you don't have a lot of time to sit and watch them all, so that's why I wanted to just come on and show you. So I'm just going to run a little stitch along here. The hard part was turning this little bitty piece inside out, but I think I pretty much got it down pat yesterday, so I'm going to try it and see if I can get it going today. So I'm just going to snip this and cut this and run it over to the sewing machine real quick. And remember to do it inside out, not right side out. So we want to fold it this way. Not that it matters, because you're not going to see it where it's going. Actually, I could just do it like this, and I think I'm going to. I actually don't need to turn it inside out once it's sewn. So I'm just going to run a stitch down this, so give me a second. I don't want to have to bring my sewing machine. I could bring it over there and show it to you guys, but I don't think I need to bring my whole sewing machine over every time I want to sew a piece of fabric. So give me 2 seconds and let me run a stitch through here. And that's another thing. I have a ton of thread, so I'm not worried about a thread shortage over here for sure. Because I'm sure quite a few of us have a ton of thread going on. So I'm just going to run this down here. See how quickly I can do this. If I can get it going here, I'll be okay. There we go. I just want to make sure I have enough room to fit that little metal piece in there. And I do recommend that on all your end stitches, on your big pieces and stuff, that you make sure to go back and forth a few times, because I know they were saying they want to, they want to be able to wash these. So you want to make sure that, and you guys know how I am about my stuff staying together, so you want to make sure it's going to stay together. So you don't want to, so then I just take this little piece, just for added, so it's not too much pressure on your nose. And then I just pop it in there. I'm having a hard issue swallowing today. And I made it a little long, so I'm going to put a little fabric tack just at the end here, just so I don't have to go back over to the sewing machine. And I'm going to close that, then I'm going to push that one down and clip it, because I made it just a little bit too long. And I'm going to pop a little fabric tack in this end as well. Just a little bit, just to hold it closed. And then we'll let that sit, because we don't need that piece yet. So that's that. And that just gives it a little bit added, just so you don't have any pressure on your nose. Although when I have mine on, I don't even feel it. So I'm going to go ahead and sew these 2 pieces, and then I will be back. So let me just pop behind me. And you guys are welcome to fast forward through this part. I don't edit or anything, so I don't know how to, once I start using my other program, I can do all that. I just have to sit and play with it again. It wasn't working on my other computer, but I'm hoping it works on this computer, my new computer. So once I can start using that one, then I can do all that stuff. I can stop and pause and come back. I can't do any of that on just regular YouTube. And if you can't, well, yeah, you can't. It all matters on your camera. And I know you guys probably can't hear me right now. There we go. And that's it. So you just sew those 2. They don't have to be perfect or anything. I mean, I can sew pretty straight, but I'm not a pro at it. I mean, I did take sewing in school many moons ago. We won't talk about how long ago that was. I've really liked sewing. We had sewing and cooking class, which they were so awesome. I think they should bring those back. It was so much fun to cook and make things and, you know, share them with your class and stuff like that. And then those are just going to get laid. You want to kind of center them between, you want to make sure they're centered. Well, let's do it right, Laurel. Wow. See, I'm already screwing up. So this goes this way, and you want to make sure your main piece is face up at this point. So you just want to make sure that's centered, or pretty close to it. Put that to the edge. Like I said, all these edges are going to be under, so you're not going to see them anyway. And why do I keep doing it like that? Ay, 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 ay. The little sewn part goes down. All right, because that's your pocket. So this is making our pocket. And I want this piece under on the bottom, so this is the top of my mask. So there we go. And like I said, they're not perfect by any means, especially once you sew. So it's not something that's gonna show. So if it's off a little on one side, you're all good. And then you're gonna take it over to the sewing machine, and you're gonna sew 1/4 of an inch in, just from here to here, and here to here. So I'm gonna actually pin mine so that they stay. So let me grab a pin here. I'm going to actually pin mine because I don't want them falling off while I'm over there sewing. So I'm just going to pin them down. And you don't have to do this. You can put one on at a time and do it. I'm just trying to see how fast I can make one of these, because they say you can make it in 5 minutes. I have yet to make one. I have yet to make one in 5 minutes. So Shell's probably, what is she averaging? I think she said her first one took her 40 minutes. Mine took all day because, you know, I would keep rewatching, and then I was trying to get everything together, and then I would try and look for something that I wanted to use, and I couldn't find it, and yeah, it was making me crazy. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I believe that's the next thing to do, is to sew that from across. So let's see. I'm just going to fast forward through her a little bit just to make sure I'm doing it right. I just don't want to screw up, because I haven't made a bunch of them yet in a row. So yep, that's right. That's right. That's right. And then we're going to sew. Yep, I was right. So I'm going to take it over, and we're going to sew that 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to guess again. Let's see how accurate I can be here. I mean, I think our sewing machine shows it to us where it's at anyway, so let's get under there. And just remember to do your back and forth at the beginning and the end. Just because you want to make sure this stays so that it can be washed. And I know this is the most boring part when you can't see anything I'm doing. And I'm sorry, I could have brought my sewing machine, but then I would have had to keep moving it. So one side down, we got the other side. And that's what's nice. I mean, I just recently learned how to slow down videos on here, which I heard people talking about it, and I'm like, how can I slow it down? I'm not the one that made it. But, yep, you can slow it down so you can watch what somebody's doing. I thought it was pretty cool. Almost done. I just have one little spot here. My sewing machine likes to act all retarded every now and then too. So there we go. So now we've got our 2 pieces sewn. And like I said, I guessed, so it doesn't have to be perfect, because none of this is going to show anyway, and it's just mainly to make your little pocket. Now comes the fun part where we get to do all the little pleats. Just want to cut all these. I should probably have my little tiny scissors out. Probably be a lot easier. And they do have one I will post for you guys where you make it completely out of the HEPA filter. The one thing with that is they tell you not to use pins because you don't want to poke holes in the HEPA filter. So you just have to take your time when you're sewing or gluing or whatever because you don't want to poke any holes in it. So now I leave this one here because as I'm doing my pleats, or no, this has to get turned over first. Hold on. As I'm doing my pleats, I don't want to worry that it's falling over. So now we're going to take this and press it a little bit because we're going to iron it again. I just have to remember to put my nose piece in, and this is where I'll explain it to you. I do mine so that it's hidden and you can't see it. So this is my top. So what I do is in my top piece that I just did the 1/4 inch, I take this and I lay it on here in the center, and then I make a pencil mark on each side. I hope you guys can see me. Let me make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Yeah, okay. So I take a pencil mark and I just put a pencil mark on each side. I go over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew up here and up here first because it's easier to do before you put it in. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, one more. I know my mom was saying somebody has a challenge going on, and I'm sure there's tons and tons of people helping to make 1 million masks. I know that's a lot, but YouTube is a huge thing, and if everybody told somebody, we know how fast that goes because we see how fast this virus is flying by people being next to each other that have it, and how fast 1 turns into 2 and 2 turns into 4, and so yeah, which I thought was pretty cool. So then I just take my little thing. Now you don't have to go through all this. I'm just weird. You can just, if you don't mind the showing through, you can do yours on the front or however you'd like. You don't, like I said, you don't have to add this piece. So you can just put your, your wire or your pipe cleaner right on the top here and just zigzag over it to hold it down. Because it's, once you flip this over anyway, you're not going to see it. But I do mine now because when I flip mine over, I don't want the sew marks on the outside. So that's why I do it this way. So now I'm going to go ahead and sew that in. Believe it or not, this fits really nicely. I just set my 1 presser foot right on top of the piece of wire, and it seems to work perfectly. As long as I go, I'm careful and I don't hit that wire, it's all good. Well, see, I just hit the wire. So we gotta be a little careful there. I don't want to hit that wire. So we gotta make sure it stays pushed over. So you just gotta go slow. There we go. All right. And then I have my little nose piece sewn in there. So then you're going to take these two, fold them over. And I know it looks a little complicated. It really is. If you don't do all this nonsense I'm doing, it's just sew, flip, sew, pleat, sew. It's actually pretty quick. And then you can take your iron or your straightener, as I have, and I can fit it in here and just run it across. I know you can't see me, but so I just fold this over and I take this in and just run it across just to help flatten it out a little bit. And this one's kind of tough because the piece is in there, so I mainly just do the ends just to make sure they're nice and flat. Let me get this one again. So you want to pull it a little bit just to make sure it's nice and flat. Next, I'm going to get one of those little iron shells. Got this little iron and little ironing board in there, and it looks awesome. So yeah, so that's that way. And then you take it, turn it back over, and you're going to fold this down, and you want to bring it down enough so that this piece folds. So that's what I'm going to do. And I bring it right past where that nose piece is. And like I said, it's not always going to be even. One side's going to be a little bit bigger than the other, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want this nice and tight because you want to get the white on this side. So then you're going to iron again because you want this to stay nice and flat. So this one can come up just a little bit. And you'll see what I mean by you won't even know I have a nose piece in there in a minute. So I'm just going to flatten these on this side. So see, you want your crease right up at the edge. And if you want, you can pin these, which is what I did yesterday. I just took a pin and popped it in here just so I knew it would stay right there. So I took some pins and just popped it in there like that. And away from here, because this is where we're eventually going to sew, so that I know it's right on that line. And then you're going to do the same with the other one. You're going to bring it over and down right to the crease, kind of right where you ironed. You're going to bring that down, and you're going to iron again, just so that it stays where you want it to. And like I said, it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. And I have been working on a few projects. I posted a small picture of a piece I was working on. I'm telling you, it was supposed to be this simple project, but it's turning into something else because every time I pick up a project, that's when my mind starts working, and it just doesn't stop. It just keeps going. So I know this is my top because of the nose piece, and the top I want on the top like that. So there. So now we have it like that. Oh, let me pin these. You don't have to, but I actually like one in the middle because it helps these two stay together when I'm doing my pleating. Like I said, most people are probably way better at sewing than me. The first time I did it and I turned over, my pocket piece was all wrinkled up. I'm like, what are you doing, Laurel? So there we go. So then you turn it over. This is my top because that's my nose piece. And now you're just going to pinch and pleat. And you're going to do it 3 times. So I usually start from about an inch down, and then I pleat like that. And then I just take a clip, and I clip it like that. And then clip this side. I actually had my first one all pinned. You guys, it took me like 8 times to do this yesterday. I don't know why. I wasn't getting the pinch and pleat. It just wasn't working out for me. And then I actually pinned this here because I just want to make sure everything stays where it's supposed to stay. I know I'm weird. You actually iron this after you do this, but I don't know. We'll see. So we'll try it like that this time. So then you want to pinch again, like right where your first one is, and you want to pinch and pleat like that. And I try and keep them a little bit even. This was my problem yesterday, is nothing. I would turn it over and it was like, what are you doing? It's not even close. So I'm trying to, this one's actually turning out a lot better than I was doing yesterday. We'll see when I turn it over and look at the back what it looks like. And then, so you want to do it one more time. So you want 3 pleats. So you're going to get as close as you can, and you're going to pinch and then pleat. And see, this is where I get my see, and then they start moving. This is where my difficulty comes in. I'm not a good pinch and pleater here. So let's see. So then I just kind of take it and play with it a little bit. So, and these are going to overlap on each other, which is okay. Get my little clip. Clip it. There we go. And then this one, pinch and pleat. Get this up under here. And there we go. Wow, this one turned out way better than the one mine I was doing yesterday. I'm telling you, I took it apart like 8 times last night. I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning working on this. All right, so then it should look like that. But do you see how crooked I am? This is my problem that bugs me. So I'm going to try and fix that right now because I don't want it crooked. All right. I don't want a crooked mask. Or I'm sure Cam doesn't want a crooked mask. All right, so that's that. So then I turn it over and I look at it. And get under there. Because you want to make sure this stays. So now we're going to iron it. I actually did really good compared to the one I did when I was doing mine yesterday. So now you just want to take this and iron it a little bit. Which, see, I think I'm just going to pin because I feel a lot better if it's just pinned in place. Then when I sew, I know it's not going anywhere. Uh-oh. Indiana call. Who's calling from Indiana? I don't know anybody in Indiana. Sorry, guys. That's the house phone. I can't stop it from ringing. So I'm going to pin this one too. Just because, I don't know, mine just, I don't know why it just doesn't want to stay where it's supposed to. I guess if you iron it, it will, but I'm going to pin this one over here. So you don't have to go through all this. Like I said, I am not an expert sewer. I can sew, but I'm not an expert at it. So I'm just going to do this in between my pins and stuff, just to make sure my creases stay a little bit. And then I can, once I sew it, I can iron it again. So then we're going to flip it over and take a look. Everything looks pretty good. Whew. Getting a little hot here. All right, this thing is really hot. I have it on 410. It does make me sweat. So now you want to sew down. You don't want to sew on this, and you'll see why in a minute. You want to sew right outside of it, down this edge, on each side. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is I'm going to go over and sew down on each side. I'll be right back. And remember to go back and forth a few times on the ends. Although most of you people that sew probably already know that. I'm just the one that has to remind myself to do it. And I mean, if you do hit the white part, it's not a crime. Well, you really don't. You don't want to hit it. Never mind, it will be a crime because that is your pocket. So you want to be able to get your filter in between there. And if you sew and you can't reach all the way over to the blue, then you're kind of in trouble, I think. So yes, try not to sew that white part. All right, so now we're doing the next one. Down. There we go. Wow, I got pretty close there. Reverse row. See, I always forget to reverse. I'm bad. Okay, and I'm back. So there we go. So we've got it sewn down. Got strings everywhere. Down this side, and I'll show you on this side. So we've got it sewn down this side and down this side. So I'm just gonna, where are my little scissors? Let's see if I can get a little scissors here. I'm just afraid I'm gonna end up cutting my piece of material. So we'll get the little scissors. Cut all these pieces like that. All right, turn it over. Okay, got all those. All right, so we've got all that. So now what she shows, and you can take all your clips and everything out now. What she shows, I leave these in for now, is she takes it and she folds it once here, and then she folds it again to here. It makes it extremely thick. So what I did, again, being a little tedious here, I take a little edge and fold it over and do a stitch. I sew along here, and then a little bitty edge and sew along here, and then that edge is where I bring to here, so I have a nice big pocket to put whatever I want through it. And then when I pull, it gathers really nice and it's not too bunched up. So if you do use a thicker fabric for the ones you make for yourself or whatever, you might want to do this too. So it's a little bit testy, especially not having a regular iron, but I work it out. I just pinch it down a little bit so that I can sew it. So I just have to pull it up a little bit because I have to see what I'm doing. And this thing, like I said, is extremely hot, and I don't care to burn myself with it. All right, and then I just keep going along. Because it doesn't have to be perfect, because I'm going to fold it over again and sew it, so it's okay. I just want to get a little bit of a lip on there. Just because of all the frayed edges. Like you said, you don't want these to fray either, being as they're going to be washed. I'm trying to do this quick. I don't want this video to take too long. I know I talked to you guys for a while. Like I said, you can fast forward to the parts that you need, and you'll actually get an understanding, or you can go watch any of the other links that I will post. So I just do that. I just kind of wrap it over a little bit, just so I have something to start with to sew. I mean, I suppose I could sew along the raw edge, but I'm just too afraid that it'll end up fraying, and I don't want it to fray, especially after you wash it a few times. So they say once you go out and you come back, you should wash them, just like they say if you go out and come back, not to sit down on any of your furniture, to put your clothes in the laundry right away, because it does stay on surfaces, and to take a shower. I mean, there's just, we've been so careful here. I mean, I don't know. I don't have fingerprints left is all I can say. I wash my hands so much, and we're always sanitizing the surfaces and cleaning the bathroom and all of that stuff. So it's been a little crazy, but you know what? I have seen too much on what this does to people, and I can tell you I don't want it at all, and I don't want any of my friends or family getting it either. So anything I can do to help to try and boost that when we do have to go out, which is as little as possible, I want to do that. So now I'm just going to take this over the sewing machine and just run a little stitch down here. So I'll be right back. Okay, this side. There. So just to fold over my edges. Like I said, you're not going to see those once we're done, and we're just about done, except for the long piece, which I don't need to show you that because we can all figure that part out. I just want to show you the main mask. So now we take this little part and we fold it over to here. You can fold it even a little bit bigger. I kind of come right to the, you can come right to the edge if you want, if you're using a thinner string. I'm going a little bit more because I'm using a little bit thicker string. So I'm going to take my pin out now. My pin's out there now because I need to go right down here like this, and I'm going to sew straight down here to make my little loop. So I am going to pin these a little bit just so they stay. Probably should be using, oh, I need to pin them here because I got to do that. I always get confused, like, where are you sewing, Laurel? You're sewing here, so why are you putting a pin right there? That's just not smart. So I hope everybody is doing well and keeping busy. I know that I just can't believe all the amazing things people are doing on YouTube and stuff just to keep everybody busy and try and cheer everybody up. And, you know, there's been some really good videos. And I'm just kind of doing my own thing, keeping to myself and, you know, working on all that and sleeping better and stuff. So I'm doing pretty good. So that's that side. Let's get this side folded over and pinned just because I don't want him to move. Because like I said, I'm not the world's best, what do they call it, seamstress. I call it sewer because that's just my term for it. I'm sure that's not what it's called. Well, because you can be a quilter, you can be a seamstress, you can be a, so I don't know what the actual technical term for all of it is if you do a lot of sewing, unless they just each all have their own words. Maybe that's just normal, but I just call it a sewer. All right, so let's go over and do those, and then we'll be just about done. Let me get my thing back up here because I can't see anything I'm doing. So there we go. All right, so let's get this done, and then we'll be done. And I'm going to try and go as close to that same stitch line as I did before. All right, let's get on the fabric. There we go. All right. Reverse, Laurel. Don't want to forget the reverse. Ouch. Did you guys ever sew your finger? I haven't. Don't ask me how that's possible. But I did. I got my finger caught under there. I don't know how. All right, last side, and then we'll be done. Reverse. All right, now we can go. And it doesn't have to look pretty on the back because it's on your face and you're not going to see it. You just want to make sure it's secure, and that's what I'm concerned about. So there we go. So we're going to take all our pins out everywhere, and I will show you guys. And it's actually really simple. I know I'm not the best at doing quick things, but I always want to go into explanations of everything and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, I could have just went, here, you do this, now let's go do this. But that's not usually how it is when I'm on. So we're going to take all these pins out. You should have seen me trying to find this one pin yesterday. I'm like, oh my gosh, I sewed a pin in between the material, but I really didn't. Oh my gosh. All right. So there. Okay. Oh, I've got some more in the front. Oh, that's just garbage. Got a little bit of a wind up here going on, so I'm just going to clip that off. Because I don't like all that. All right. So, and this is my top because this is the nose piece. Now I'm not going to bend it because I'm going to and I'm not going to put this one to my face because it's for somebody else. And I don't want to have to, I mean, we're probably going to wash them all anyway, just because we've been touching them and stuff. So we'll probably wash them all before we hand them out. So there you go. You've got your mask with your pleats. And when you open it out, you know, it'll curve, and then you'll have your nose piece to shape around your nose. And like I said, that piece is pretty flexible. And then inside, you open it up, and this one I have a feeling should have been folded down, but it's folded up, but that's okay. It's still in there. And then there's your pocket. to put your filter in. And you're all set. And then it goes like that. Let me get this up here. And there you go. So that is your mask. So like I said, I just mainly wanted to tell you guys all the different, well, I wanted to make the video too, but I wanted to tell you all the different things you can use if you don't sew or have a sewing machine or don't have certain supplies. So use your imagination. There's plenty of things. Like I said, the strings are going to go through here now for the ties for her, because I don't think she would like the things around her ears either. So even if you get one that has ties, you can change it to however you want, depending on how your mask is made. So this is the mask when it's done. So I hope you guys give this a try, and make some for your friends and family and start spreading them around. The sooner we can all get back to some kind of normalcy, what that is, I'm not sure, but my goal is to make sure that everybody stays safe, because it's just really sad right now. So I just want to do my part to help, and Shell's doing her part, and Ma. So this is just something we thought of, not that we thought of that, but we saw it and said, this is something we can do to help. So that's what we're doing. So I hope you guys all stay safe. Keep crafting and making beautiful things. I'm loving everything, and I'm getting so much inspiration. And again, I've got about 10 projects going on at once. I'm hoping to be make another video sometime this week on a project that I'm working on right now. And so we'll go from there. So you'll see my videos here and there. And so everybody take care and get out there and create something and stay safe. And I will see you all soon. Bye for now.